Uh-oh, Pengy's back in town. This is Cave Waves. Howdy, holeheads. Kurt Money here, alongside my co-host, Mrs. Colombo, to do another bat breakdown, this time of the classic Pengy ep, The Penguin's Nest / The Bird's Last Jest. Now, of course, this was not his last jest. I think he had 5 more episodes. But anyway, this is the one where Pengy wants to get arrested so that he can team up in jail with Master Forger Ballpoint Baxter. Actually, the whole wanting to get into jail thing is kind of what Ma Parker wanted to do on our last bat breakdown. Ma Parker, though, was much more successful on her end. But let's see how Pengy does. The Penguin's got some brilliant plans in this episode, and maybe sometimes a little too brilliant. He's a little too smart for his own good sometimes, which is why, for many reasons, the Penguin is my favorite villain out of the big five. Your Catwoman, Mr. Freeze, Riddler, and the Joker. Penguin is by far my favorite. He's definitely the smartest of the bunch, and he is the funniest.
Careful. Every one of them has a mother.
So my love for Burgess Meredith and the Penguin is one of my reasons to want to do this episode. But the other one is that it was written by Lorenzo Semple Jr., an all-star Batman contributor, and a co-writer on so many non-Batman hits, you have no idea. And I want to talk more about that, but I'm saving that chunk for after the cliffhanger. For now, I say we jump right in the beat-by-beat bat breakdown of this excellent show. We open on an establishing shot of a skyscraper, and we're told this is the home to the hottest new restaurant in town, the Penguin's Nest. Now, before we go inside and check out the nest, I believe this skyscraper shot right here, its original home was in the season 1 episode, The Penguin's a Jinx. It's not a repeated shot, per se, because all the shots in that episode are like pans, right? But you could totally see the zip line here in this shot, so no doubt this was something from the cutting room floor of the season 1 ep. This show used repeated shots a bunch because of its insane shooting schedule. So I'm not here to hate on it. I more appreciate it when I can recognize it.
Good, honey.
All right, so inside the Penguin's Nest, we go in the restaurant, and I'm shocked to find out that one, the Penguin is out on bail or on parole or something. He's free as a bird. Bird pun. And not only that, he is a thriving restaurateur. And the who's who of Gotham City are dining with him, including our Wayne Manor crew. Everybody at the table is just a little bit too chill about his write down your orders, please request. Well, everybody except for Chief O'Hara, who speaks his mind and is, of course, scolded instantly by Gordon.
Efficient.
Pretty fishy, if you ask me.
Chief O'Hara, what kind of way is that to address our generous host?
Few things I love more about this show than when Gordon lays into Chief O'Hara. He's so quick to do it. And Neil Hamilton, this guy, any line he delivers, I love. And especially when they're targeted at Chief O'Hara.
I fear you're growing cynical, Chief O'Hara. The notion of a faithful taxpayer robbing a bank is clearly ridiculous.
But in this case, turns out Chief O'Hara was dead right, because what's the Penguin do next but shake Aunt Harriet's hand and then do a little swipe number on her bracelet. The Chief catches it and says, Pengy, get back here. Boom, busted.
I saw you licked it.
You dratted fellow, underhand me.
Good gravy. What a stupid, clumsy crime.
The Chief and the Commissioner want to arrest him, but Bruce Wayne is like, you know what? Let's bring Batman in on this, because there's something going on here. The Penguin's up to something.
That does it. When this pompous, waddling master of foul play all but asks to be arrested.
Now it's off to the hallway for some phone booth hijinks. Gordon rushes out there to call Batman, and then Bruce Wayne follows him to stand right next to him to call Alfred, to tell Alfred that Gordon's going to be calling soon and to patch him into him right there behind Gordon.
We're in luck. Batman's at home.
Wonderful.
This is the good stuff. Now, lucky for Bruce, Aunt Harriet's had enough, and they head back to the manor. Bruce and Dick race home, hop in their unis, and then Batman and Robin are off back to the restaurant. And here they ask one of two questions that I've been dying to ask since the beginning of the episode.
The average tab came to $87 per person, not counting drinks and the 100 Smackers cover charge.
Holy straitjacket.
Why would the Penguin be up to something if he's already making money hand over fist with the restaurant? Oh, excuse me, hand over fin. So Batman walks in, wants to meet the Penguin's crew, right? So he brings them out and introduces them one by one. And of course, they're all evil. It's like it's the chef from the jail. And I love Chickadee's intro and how her crime has to do with untaxed cigars. Another great Gordon delivery here.
My hat, chick, and cigarette girl.
Not to mention notorious female bootlegger of untaxed cigars.
So Penguin assumes that Batman's there to arrest him. But much to Pengy's chagrin, Batman says, you know what? We're going to let this slide. It's okay, Penguin. You can go on your merry way. And Penguin loses it because clearly he wanted to be arrested for some reason or another. Grabs a pie, chucks it at Gordon whops him right in the face. I love this. I love a good pie in the face. I feel like we're not doing pie in the faces anymore, but it works here. And even with the pie in the face, Batman's like, no. He didn't mean any harm by it. Gordon, you're cool, right? And Gordon is very much not cool with it. So the good guys leave the restaurant, and now it's time for our bat climb and another classic cameo. But before we get to the cameo, which rules, there's something I gotta talk about here. I love On the Way Up. This was the second question about this episode that I was asking myself from the jump. And that is, do you think Bruce Wayne or Batman would party with a restaurant that only caters to the rich? Nope.
That $100 cover charge is pretty stiff. Penguin's terrific chow is hardly within the budget of the average worker.
That's right. Batman's woke, y'all. You better believe it. Well, until later. Later I'll question it, but for now, well done, Batman.
Gosh, yes, you're right, Batman.
All right, so now they go up. It's cameo time. It's friggin' Lurch from Addams Family.
Oh, it's you, Batman. Gave me quite a start.
Yes, citizen, you may return to your harpsichord.
We're on official business.
Hey, was this the first time people saw Lurch in color? He looks kind of weird, right? They brought him on because the Addams Family had just been canceled. It was on their same network, ABC, for 2 years, and both seasons are all in black and white. Speaking of those first 2 seasons, I throw on an episode of Addams Family because of this Lurch cameo, and who pops up but friggin' Aunt Harriet herself?
I'm going to have another talk with him.
Madge Blake in the house, everybody.
Booze.
Booze. Really? I guess I underestimated him.
So back at the nest, Pengy knows that the dynamic duo is right outside the window, right? Because he's got like a high-tech umbrella handle that's beeping, telling him that the duo's nearby. So he shoots his umbrella gun at the chef, who takes a dive, which forces Batman's hand, and him and Robin jump in through the window. Now they gotta arrest Pengy for murder, right? Not so fast. Smartest man in the room, remember?
Caught red-handed, ain't I?
Yes! And no, Penguin.
Yes and no.
Dude, that kick had a little bit more juice than I expected, right? I'm going to chalk it up to Adam West's stellar physical acting chops, but Batman really lays into this guy.
A sham.
This does finally get Pengy arrested, and so he's pumped. He thinks he's about to be fortune checks left and right, but Batman's got that covered. You see, he's not going to the big boy jail. He's going to the petty crook jail, not for attempted fake murder, but for, like, discharging his umbrella gun at an inside space or something.
You're in here for violating the sanitary code.
What?
Article 69B.
Apparently it's in the law books.
Call your lawyer. Have him look it up.
Good day, Penguin. Reflect on your petty sins, you Bush League bird.
Bush League bird. Now that is a burn right there. That's one of my favorite Batman put-downs. So now they're back at the Batcave and they're trying to figure out, why is it that the Penguin wants to be arrested? Oh, he wants to forge some checks. But how would criminals get their hands on checks? I wonder. And so they're like, well, we better put a call into the warden. I mean, it's not like they're going to give prisoners blank checks, right? Wrong. They do.
Sorry to wake you from your routine afternoon nap, Warden. Batman here with a small but vital question.
Yes, of course.
Afternoon nap. Oh my God, I love it. Anytime they make fun of the man or the system, I am on board.
Is there any way this creature could get his hands on blank check forms?
No trouble at all. He'd merely have to order them from the prison print shop.
You mean prisoners can order blank check forms from the print shop?
Certainly, Batman.
And Batman's, he's a little cautious, but he trusts the warden. You got to get him ready to go back out in society, I guess.
Another of your advanced penological techniques.
Right. Why? Do you think it's unwise, Batman?
I don't know. I've always had boundless admiration for your efforts, Warden, but sometimes I just don't know.
All right, so after that shaky call with the warden, they decide to go back to the jail to see what's up with Pengy. And what do you know? Pengy's goons had friggin' broken in already, and they're about to bust him out of there. Thankfully, Batman and Robin catch them mid-escape, and Batman lays this line down.
The best laid plans of birds and men gang aft to glee.
Plans of bats too, Batman!
All right, so that was no doubt a reference to Of Mice and Men, a famous poem and an even more famous movie that came out in 1939. Now, of course, Batman says bird instead of mice, but it's definitely a ref to that movie, because guess who starred in that movie? Burgess Meredith, the Penguin himself.
Oh, I was just petting him with my thumb while we walked along.
You ain't petting no bird while you're walking with me.
Oh, speaking of that, you know that dope book I got with the behind the scenes on the show? When they're talking about Burgess Meredith's career, they say he's probably best known for Of Mice and Men. No, way. Absolutely not.
No.
First and foremost is the Rocky films. I know that for a fact. Anytime I post a clip with the Penguin in it, there's a ton of people going, oh my God, that's Micky. Oh my God, that's Micky. Not once has anybody said, oh my God, that's George from Mice and Men. It doesn't happen.
Because I'm too old to waste my time trying to train a no-good loser like you bum.
Anyway, Pengy escapes because they're holding Chief O'Hara hostage, and they're off to set up the cliffhanger for the episode, and a very convoluted one at that, involving the chief in a trunk on a slide pointed at a pool of electrified water.
Let me out of this infernal hamper. Your difference. What's the idea? Let me out.
How'd the water get electrified, you ask? Duh. Via the pool electrifier, of course.
As the dynamic duel's bullet-riddled bodies hit the drink, I'll turn on the high-voltage switch.
So that's the cliffhanger to part 1. You know, usually it's Batman and Robin in peril, but this time it's Chief O'Hara, and actually, according to that book, it was supposed to be Commissioner Gordon, but the writers realized that they had just done an episode of Gordon being kidnapped. Oh, whoa, and I'll bet it's the one with Carolyn Jones as Marcia, Queen of Diamonds.
I'll roll myself into a ball and you can use me as a footstool. Just don't ever leave me.
I'm sorry, darling. I have to pay a visit to my dear old Aunt Hilda.
Carolyn Jones, of course, from Addams Family.
Mother knows best.
But anyway, the writers realized that, and speaking of writers, it's now time for a little segment I like to call Kurt Money Investigates, the career of Lorenzo Semple Jr. Semple wrote a bunch of scripts for Batman, and was like a consulting producer on it for the whole run of the show, I believe. But he's most important because he wrote the friggin' pilot episode, Hi Diddle Riddle. His script set the tone for the show and is a huge part about why the show got picked up in the first place, because everybody loved it, including a young man auditioning for the show who thought it was absolutely hysterical and suddenly really wanted to be a part of this project. That young man, Adam West.
Batman.
But yeah, even on Batman scripts he didn't write, he would weigh in on the overall plot. Because again, he was one of the few that had an exact lock on what the tone of the show was. And without him, we would not have the Batman we know and love today. But it's not just Batman he figured out. All right, this dude's filmography is nuts. He was a writer or co-writer on so many great movies. From ones you've never heard of, like Daddy's Gone Hunting or Pretty Poison, to huge hits starring megastars like Parallax View, 3 Days of the Condor, King Kong, and Never Say Never Again. And the titles here that I've highlighted, I would do a standalone Cave Waves on each of those movies tomorrow, all right? The guy wrote Flash Gordon.
Forget it, Ming. Dale's with me.
But before we return to the Bat Breakdown and figure out Chief O'Hara's fate,
Let me out.
there's one more thing I gotta tell you. If you check out one thing that Lorenzo Semple Jr. did other than Batman, I would suggest it being the now defunct YouTube channel Real Geezers. Okay? He did it with a friend of his, who she was also like a famous producer and stuff.
My name is Lorenzo. I'm an old fellow. I'm a writer. I've written various movie things, also the Batman television series.
I'm Marcia. I'm a film producer now.
Movies. I saw Superbad this week, finally.
Nothing's been uploaded since 2012, and both the stars are long dead. I mean, we lost Semple back in 2014. But there are 49 videos of like 5 or 6 minute movie reviews still up on that channel that you can watch today. Now, be aware it was 2007, so it's in 240p. Okay, the qual's a little on the low side. But we gotta give this guy credit. He's doing YouTube stuff in 07 when he was like in his mid-80s. Guy was way ahead of the game.
I don't recommend it.
I recommend it. I get 2 toes up, 1 foot up. I get
No,
both.
1 penis up.
Oh, stop.
And 1 penis down.
And this is the person who objects to the...
Well, those are real words. When
But you don't use them in my house.
Please.
Now for part 2. Batman and Robin show up to the pool to save the Chief from certain disaster, which we knew was going to happen. Chief O'Hara is not going to die. But what I love about this show is how many times they pull the rug out from under me because I had no idea how they were going to go about saving the day. And this one's no exception. They show up, they got the bat shield. We know it fits in the utility belt somehow, and he's always got it. But never in a million years would I think that Batman's solution to the pool electrifier is to somehow reverse it so that it shoots the trunk out on its own.
Holy levitation!
Didn't see that coming, nor did I think that Batman would know that the goons are out of bullets because he was counting the rounds that were being shot at them while he was talking to Robin behind the bat shield.
They are out of ammunition.
How do you know?
Easy. I've been counting their bullets.
So thank God the Chief is safe. Now it's time for the Penguin's trial, where old Pengy's going up against the best attorney in Gotham City, Batman. The DA said, Batman, you got this one.
With your permission, Judge Moot, Mr. Hamfurter has asked me to represent the people.
Of course. It will be an honor, Batman.
Sure, he was the arresting officer. Who cares? Batman is both law and order. Thank you. Also, look at these books they got here. You see, this one's got like a giant bat logo on it, right? So does that mean that Batman wrote a book about law and then put his bat logo on it? Or is that a pre-existing law book that he just put his own logo on it so that everybody knows, hey, this is Batman's book, don't touch it? I mean, both are feasible. All right. The things that Batman gets up to in this episode, he could very easily write a law book.
What the hell is Robin doing with these pencils? Why is he Wolverining?
Either way, it doesn't matter, because Pengy, he beats Batman at his own game, lawyering.
In the immortal phrase of Emile Zola, j'accuse!
He manages to convince the judge that he was robbed of his right to be arrested because he had committed a crime, because Batman decided so. And the judge is like, you know what, you got a good point. Robin, you're way out of your depth here, dude. Boy Wonder, take a seat. Pengy, you win. Case dismissed.
You call attempted mayhem a normal citizen's reaction?
Enough, Boy Wonder. I fear you're out of your depth in these thorny matters. Way, way out.
This was actually a great turn for the episode, and I did not see it coming. And it also gives us the rare sight of Batman being bested. For the time being, of course.
We've been outwitted, Robin.
It's not fair. Let's fight.
Not only was the case dismissed, but old Pengy's free as a bird.
Penguin pond number 3.
Back at the Batcave, Batman knows that the Penguin's not going to give up that easily. He's still going to try and get his forgery plan going in jail. But don't worry, he's got just the trick. And now happens the most absurd, silliest, and one of my favorite Batman grand plans I've ever seen. So they want Alfred to go undercover to the restaurant as like a master forger. Not Ballpoint Baxter, the one that Pengy wants to work with, but another one whose name is Quill something. Batman knows that the Penguin's going to get suspicious and check the fingerprints of Alfred to see if he's really this other guy. So what does he do? But paints fingerprints on Alfred that match this Quill guy. Boy, do I have questions about this one.
I bet Batman's the only one in the world with a hand steady enough to paint false fingerprints.
Come, Robin, don't exaggerate. All it takes is a little practice and a bit of patience.
Never mind how Batman knows that later Penguin's going to get suspicious and test Alfred's fingerprints. Or that the Penguin's going to have a bank of fingerprints back in the kitchen waiting. Okay, forget that. Let's talk about these prints, though. Fingerprints are like small grooves or indents in your fingers that are unique to you as a person. So no matter what you paint over it, when you take a print of it, it's still just going to be Alfred's fingerprint. It's just that he's going to be doing the test with like a red finger or something. So it doesn't matter how precise Batman's painting skills are.
Fortunately, the criminal classes don't realize the possibilities.
It wouldn't help them if they did, Alfred.
Look, I was cool with Batman as district attorney. Okay, but this one...
No.
This is a step too far. Fold came on here. Oh, and speaking of step too far, I might have to take back my thoughts about Batman being woke because of the zero faith he has in criminals beating addiction. Listen to this guy talk down about how they can't paint because of their vices, no have the shakes and blah, blah, blah.
Poor wretches are addicted to tobacco and alcohol. They lack the nerve control for this sort of work.
I might have let that slide, but I'm pretty sure he says something similar in the Batman movie.
You risked your life to save that riffraff in the bar?
They may be drinkers, Robin, but they're also human beings. And may be salvaged. I had to do it.
So Alfred goes to the restaurant undercover. Chief O'Hara's like, you're Mr. Quill, the famous forger, blah, blah, blah. Penguin's like, ooh, hey, nice to meet you. Let me sit down and talk to you. But before Pengy sits down, you guessed it, he gets a print from a glass that Alfred was drinking out of and consults his records. This is indeed this Quill guy.
Eureka! It's Quill Pen, after all.
All right, but as soon as Alfred throws those specs on, Pengy is wise and knows you, sir, are butler to millionaire Bruce Wayne. Nice try. Now I'm about to put you in a big old cake. Look out.
His name is Alfred. He is the faithful butler of the millionaire Bruce Wayne.
So Batman and Robin are suspicious. Alfred's not checking in. Oh no, I shouldn't have let him go undercover, Batman's thinking. So they go to the restaurant, nobody's in there. That's when Batman discovers Alfred's bowler.
Heavily dusted with pastry flour.
Holy chocolate eclair. What can it mean, Batman?
Robin calls home, as Dick Grayson, of course, and they find out that not only is Alfred baked into a giant pie, Aunt Harriet's involved now too. She's being held hostage for $1 million bounty. And I love that Bruce is like, you know what? I think I got a mill lying around in the study. BRB, Penguin baby. I'll be right back with that cash. Him and Dick race off, shoot down the poles, get back into their costumes, come back up.
Surrender that gigantic pie.
To the fray, my rascally restauranteurs!
I am so glad we got to see the giant pie. And also see Alfred bust out of it. I mean, with a show that has given us like giant umbrellas and giant books, I would expect nothing less.
Holy toad!
But I still appreciated it. And hey, shout out to Alan Napier for busting out of that pie. So here we are at the end of the episode. Penguin and his crew, they're arrested. And Penguin's stoked because he's finally going to get to team up with Ballpoint Baxter for some forgery shenanigans.
Triumph at last. We're being sent to the state pen.
But Bruce has bad news for Pengy. Ballpoint's up for parole.
Mr. Baxter's going to teach penmanship in one of the Wayne Foundation camps for underprivileged children.
Oh, no. What about the underprivileged criminal?
This non-speaking role of Ballpoint Baxter is hilarious because it's played by a guy named Stanley Ralph Ross. A name you might recognize from Batman credits because dude wrote 29 episodes of the show. He kept bugging producers like, come on, give me a part of the show, give me a part of the show. And they finally give him a part, and it's a non-speaking one. He didn't get a single line.
Oh, here he is now.
Oh, God. And when he complained, the producers were like, you know what? The mark of true talent is being able to sell it without saying any words. Which is why I think old Ballpoint puts a little extra zhuzh into this trip he does. I don't know. Stick to writing, my man. So ends another banger episode with Burgess Meredith as the Penguin. You know, the guy from Of Mice and Men. And a lot of other stuff, including narrator of Twilight Zone the movie.
Portrait of a Woman in Transit. Ellen Foley, age 27.
A movie which has a segment directed by Joe Dante, director of The Burbs.
The Burbs.
So, that'll do it, folks. Please recognize Tibit Boat before you go to bed tonight. Do it for Dante and do it for me. Tibit Boat.